Oh yeah, that treasure logo is a sign of good things to come. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Let's Play Ikaruga, a game that many consider to be one of the best shoot-'em-ups ever made, and I do not really disagree with that. Not much can hold a candle to how polished and well thought out and cohesive Ikaruga's design is. It's also an incredibly tough game, so Ginkai and Ikaruga are the two different ships in the game. I think they're pretty identical, story things aside. Maybe there are some hitbox differences. The game has 3 different difficulties, easy, normal, and hard. I'll explain the difference between all of those in a moment. Whoops, go ahead and set that on normal. That is the difficulty we are going to be playing on today. First off, let me get this out of the way, this little disclaimer. I said before, this game is intensely difficult. You're not going to get that impression from the opening 2 levels, but after that, the difficulty spikes dramatically, so I'm going to try to take care of all the explanations and how the game works and mechanical nuances and stuff like that up front. Just be aware, it gets really, really difficult, and I'm not exactly a specialist, especially not doing live commentary, so there's no gimmick for this playthrough. It's not going to be like an all S++ ranking playthrough. It won't be a no continue run. I've only ever done that once, and it nearly gave me a stroke. It's just going to be a demonstration of one of the best shoot-'em-ups out there. No guarantee that levels 3, 4, and 5 are going to look particularly clean, but we'll get through the game and show everything off that it has to offer and have a good time. So let's get into this. Ikaruga is the spiritual successor to another one of Treasure's beloved games, Radiant Silvergun, which use some pretty similar mechanics. Ikaruga is pretty simple. Don't confuse simplicity, by the way, with difficulty. You'll see firsthand how hard this is going to get. You have 3 buttons. You have a fire button. You hold it down for rapid fire. You have your standard shoot-'em-up bomb attack, which is a series of homing lasers. And you have this Polarity switch button, which switches your ship from black to white. Plus your joystick to control your movement. The core gimmick of Ikaruga, though, is that you have these 2 primary types of enemies. You have black and white. Black enemies fire black bullets, white enemies fire white bullets. You can shift your ship's polarity on the fly to match incoming bullets and eat them. So if you're black and you're getting hit by black bullets, oh shit, unlike there where I kind of screwed up a little bit. If you're black and you're getting hit by black bullets, you can absorb those attacks. By the way, if you like the polarity shifting mechanic in Ikaruga, but would prefer it in a Metroidvania-style side-scroller, check out a digital download title by the name of Outland by Housemarque, the guys who made Stardust, Dead Nation, and the PS4's current best exclusive, the arena shooter Resogun. Oh, kind of taking a risk here. Yeah, that's 1 phase down. Let's switch polarity real quick. Anyway, back to the polarity shifting stuff while I fight the easiest form of the easiest boss. When you absorb attacks of the same color, you build your meter in the bottom left. That meter lets you use your shoot-'em-up bomb attack, which I was just describing when I talked about the controls. It's a series of homing lasers, and the closer your bar is to fully charge, the more powerful that laser becomes. So you want to try to ride the... Oh, god damn, I did not see that black bullet while I was trying to absorb shots from the boss. So you want to try to ride that line a little bit and absorb as many same colored attacks to your ship as possible to charge that up. It also affects your score, I think. And when you're talking about the polarity system in this game, you also get a lot of cool subsystems that branch off of it. For starters, even though you're safe from attacks that are the same color as you, you deal twice as much damage to the opposite color. So if you're black, you deal twice as much damage to white enemies and vice versa. It makes for some really high-pressure risk-reward, because enemies are firing, black bullets at you, but if you're white, you're trying to do twice as much damage to them. You're vulnerable to their bullets, even though, the safe option would be absorb their shots, but you would do half damage to them. It's really intense risk-reward gameplay. And the polarity system also ties into pretty much everything else in the game. The game is built around this central mechanic, which makes it nice and cohesive. because you can absorb bullets, instead of just dodging and destroying things firing at you, you're going to see that coming up in a section in about 30 to 40 seconds or so. Because you can absorb bullets, it introduces this new way to win, at least new for a shoot 'em up. You don't have to destroy everything. You can do a totally pacifist run in a shmup. How fucking nuts is that? All enemies will eventually just leave if you wait them out long enough, and you dodge and absorb all their attacks. It's kind of what earned this game the nickname of a bullet eater type of shmup. It's a little subgenre. And you saw fighting the first boss, if you were looking, I think it's right below the health bar, there's a timer, and that timer counts down how long the boss will stay on the screen before he just leaves. So you can wait the bosses out, and you can also wait every standard enemy and every standard section of obstacles out, or you can just do what you would normally do in a shmup and kill everything. I have to be really careful right here. Because you can see, even though you can absorb bullets and gain invulnerability from one type of attack, it's not like the game doesn't compensate for that by throwing attacks that you cannot avoid. You either have to absorb an attack or eat the damage and lose a life. So you're constantly going back and forth, shifting polarities, trying to not only thread the needle sometimes, but trying to figure out, when do I shift polarities to absorb these bullets so I can make it through a section like right there. I shifted black back to white just in time to make it through that little grid on the bottom, or the little line on the bottom, while these spirals of white bullets rotate out from the block. Oh god, it's such an interesting game. I love it. And I should probably finish off these explanations before I finish this second boss, or before I get to him, because once we get to the third level, it's gonna get really, really nuts. This also kind of relates to difficulty. In the beginning, you saw on easy, enemies will not retaliate. Retaliation means that when an enemy dies, they explode into a bunch of bullets. So on easy difficulty, enemies will not do that at all. On normal, enemies will only retaliate upon death if they are the same polarity as you, which is mostly safe, but it can get dangerous if you need to switch polarity immediately after killing an enemy. On hard, all enemies retaliate when they die, which makes it incredibly intense if you're killing all enemies, because if you're black and you kill a white enemy, they still explode into a shower of white bullets. When you have a dozen enemies of varying colors on screen and you're trying to kill all of them, it just adds so many more bullets onto the screen. It makes it really intense. Oh, shit. So on the left, dodge that, shift. So the left side, oh man, I can't believe I used a continue within the first 2 levels. That does not bode well. I think I still have 7 left though. That boss on the left side, you have to shoot white bullets at it to get the pod to lower. Once you can actually get up inside, once you've lowered that pod, you can switch polarities to do double damage on that side. And then on the right side, it's pretty much just the opposite. We are getting into level 3 though. This is where the difficulty is going to sharply spike up. Not in the very beginning of the level, but before the chapter introduction screen that introduces the name of the chapter pops up, there's going to be a really, really nasty section that I struggle with, and it is in fact right here. It's this... Ooh, these series of lasers and these platforms that move up and down. You'll see why this is really tough to deal with momentarily. This isn't even one of the harder parts of the level. I'm just not particularly great at dealing with this part. Yeah, like right there. I was not looking for my window of opportunity to move. You really have to be careful here. I want to get over on the right this time. Also, while you're absorbing these lasers, while you're... Ah, no! I'm making too many mistakes. Mistakes that I can't afford to be making. When you're absorbing these rapid fire lasers as opposed to the normal tiny bullets, one thing to note is that while you're absorbing those lasers, they are pushing you all over, and you already in that section have a very cramped, limited amount of space to maneuver between the things that are firing the lasers, so it's quite tough. And that's not the last time you're gonna hear me say that. Most of everything from here on out, from about the halfway point in level 3 onwards, pretty damn tough. And I'm gonna use my bombs liberally right here to avoid taking any unnecessary hits, because otherwise this will get really, really out of control. One more quick... Oh, shift. Shit! This game gives me heart attacks, man. It's so fun, though. That should be the last one. Then we have a pretty easy section coming up, followed by a really tough one. Okay, this is just left, right, left, right, left, right, until these end. So while I'm doing that, the color-coded enemies also play into the way the scoring system in the game works and how ranking works. In the top left, you see the word chain. Your chain goes up by 1 for every group of 3 enemies of the same color in a row you kill. So 3 whites in a row, your chain goes up by 1. 3 blacks in a row, your chain goes up by 1. Oh. Hold on. I'll finish that in a second. Ooh, left. Oh, damn it. Okay, that's the tough part of that section out of the way, and on to another tough part. This mini-boss I struggle with way, way more than I probably should. I hopefully won't use a continue just on this boss, or mini-boss, because the boss of the level, not just the mini-boss, the proper boss, is a nightmare for me. Level 3 might be the level I have the hardest time with in the game. 4 and 5 are maybe harder, but I'm significantly more used to them. I always seem to just brute force my way through level 3, though. Oh, gotta make this one count. Oh, he's just gonna disappear. He's not even gonna give me the satisfaction of killing him. So, I was just, before all the chaos, describing how chaining worked. The higher your chain, the higher your score, and at the end of the level, it also affects your ranking. You can get up to an S++ for end of mission. I think for level 1, I got a B and a C+ for level 2 or something. I'll be happy with some Bs and C++s. You also get an extra life every 2 million points, but that's not a huge help. You might be able to change that in the settings. Can't remember. Trying to concentrate. This is so intense. While trying to keep track of all the bullets that are being shot out from these checkerboard-style nodules all along the perimeter here, I always lose track of what's going on in the background, and those boxes that are rotating clockwise, they can actually hit you. They are environmental objects. They will kill you if you come in contact with them. So you're not only constantly switching polarities to absorb these really tiny bullets that are constantly rotating around you and changing. Shit, there's one continue. Or one more, I should say. You're not only doing that, but you're also watching the background to make sure that you're not getting attacked by that, and this is where it gets really hectic. This is where I'm just going to be spamming my right trigger, which is the button to hit the bomb. You don't have to fully charge your bar up to use that homing attack, so I can just spam it and do minor amounts of damage and rely on the homing to kind of brute force my way through the later third of this fight. It's not going too well. Shit. Just manage the chaos as best you can. Yeah, that was sloppy, but oosh. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. We are going to finish up the game. Remember, pretty short game with levels 4 and 5. Next episode, the difficulty will continue to spike upwards. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.